Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Erin Sullivan.
And I'm Brian Mastery. Let's get right into our top 6 headlines at 6.
All of America stands with our Cornhusker country and is on Team Nebraska right now.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins viewing the devastation left by the wildfires in central Nebraska. Rollins says the federal government will support the community's rebuilding in the weeks and months ahead.
After leading the Blue Jays for 16 years, Creighton men's basketball head coach Greg McDermott will call it a career at the end of this season. Associate head coach Alan Huss will take over the top job after that. In his tenure, McDermott led the Jays to 10 NCAA tournament appearances.
New York's LaGuardia Airport was closed much of today after a deadly crash between a passenger jet and a fire truck on the runway. 2 pilots were killed, 41 people injured. This is the first deadly crash in LaGuardia in more than 30 years.
The FBI warns cyber threats to businesses, hospitals, and schools in Nebraska and Iowa are growing. Officials say attacks like these put everyone at risk. They're asking everyone with a network to beef up their security by cycling out old technology and updating software.
Boys Town founder Father Flanagan, one step closer to becoming a saint in the Catholic Church. Pope Leo granted Father Flanagan the title of Venerable Servant of God. There are still more steps in the process, which can take decades, even centuries. Father Flanagan's cause for sainthood began in 2012.
So what the world needs now and what Omaha needs now is a little Smokey Robinson.
You just heard Mayor John Ewing announcing legendary singer-songwriter Smokey Robinson will headline this year's Memorial Park concert and fireworks show on June 26th. Rock band Cake will join Robinson at the free concert.
Thought he was going to belt out a tune or two.
Yeah.